Have you ever felt like you just don't fit in? Like no matter how hard you try, you're always the odd one out? If so, you're going to love the story of Hiccup, a young Viking who was anything but a typical dragon slayer. Welcome to the Isle of Berk, a rugged windswept island where the people are tough, the houses are tougher, and the biggest problem isn't the harsh weather, it's dragons. For generations, the Vikings of Berk have been at war with dragons. They raid the village, steal livestock, and burn down houses. And the chief of this village, Stoic the Vast, is the toughest Viking of them all. His son, Hiccup, is, well, not so much. Hiccup is small for his age, clumsy, and more of an inventor than a fighter. He spends his days in the blacksmith shop with his mentor Gobber, creating all sorts of weird and wonderful contraptions, most of which backfire spectacularly. All Hiccup wants is to prove himself, to kill a dragon and earn the respect of his father and his tribe, especially from Astrid, the fierce, competitive Viking girl he has a crush on. One night during a massive dragon raid, Hiccup sees his chance. He wheels out his latest invention, a boulder-launching catapult, and aims for the most feared and mysterious dragon of all, the Night Fury. No one has ever seen a Night Fury and lived to tell the tale. They say it's the unholy offspring of lightning and death itself, but against all odds, Hiccup's contraption works. He fires, and he hears a shriek and a crash in the distance. He actually hit it. Excited, Hiccup runs to tell his father, but nobody believes him. Frustrated and determined to prove he's a real Viking, he ventures into the forest the next day, searching for the downed dragon. He finds it, tangled in his ropes, trapped in a secluded cove. This is his moment. Knife in hand, he's ready to finish the job and become a hero. But as he looks into the dragon's eyes, he doesn't see a vicious monster. He sees a creature that's just as scared as he is. He can't do it. Instead, he cuts the ropes, freeing the Night Fury. The dragon roars, pins Hiccup to a rock, and then, it just leaves. It doesn't kill him, but Hiccup soon realizes the dragon can't fly away. One of its tail fins was damaged in the crash. Feeling a mix of guilt and curiosity, Hiccup starts secretly visiting the cove. He brings the dragon a fish, which it initially rejects, but then regurgitates half of for Hiccup to eat. A weird but touching gesture of friendship. Hiccup names his new friend Toothless, because of his retractable teeth. As Hiccup spends more time with Toothless, he starts to learn incredible things about dragons. They're not the mindless beasts everyone thinks they are. They love to have their chins scratched, they chase beams of light like cats, and they're highly intelligent. Using his blacksmith skills, Hiccup crafts a prosthetic fin for Toothless. At first, it's a disaster, but he quickly realizes he needs to be there to operate it. He builds a saddle and a complex system of levers and pedals that allows him to control the prosthetic fin while riding on Toothless' back. Together, they learn to fly. These flight scenes are absolutely breathtaking. They soar through the clouds, dive through sea stacks, and experience a freedom neither of them has ever known. This bond changes Hiccup completely. Meanwhile, back in the village, Stoic has enrolled Hiccup in dragon training with the other Viking teens. He hopes it will finally make a man out of him. The arena is filled with captured dragons that the teens are supposed to fight, but Hiccup, using the knowledge he's gained from Toothless, doesn't fight. He uses tricks to calm the dragons. He uses a bit of dragon nip to distract a gronkle, and a light reflection to disorient a deadly Dar. To everyone's amazement, especially Astrid's, Hiccup becomes the star pupil. He's a dragon-whispering prodigy, but Astrid is suspicious. How is this scrawny, awkward kid suddenly the best dragon trainer on Berk? She follows him one day and discovers his secret, his friendship with Toothless. At first, she's horrified and runs to tell the village, but before she can, Hiccup manages to get her on Toothless's back for a flight. She's terrified, then angry, but as they soar through a sky filled with auroras, her fear turns to wonder. She sees the beauty and grace of the dragon, and she finally understands. During this flight, however, they get caught in a massive flock of dragons, all carrying food. They follow them to their nest, a terrifying volcanic island, and there they discover the real reason dragons raid Berk. They aren't stealing food for themselves. They're forced to feed a monstrous, colossal dragon called the Red Death, or the Green Death, depending on which version you follow. This queen dragon rules the nest through fear, and any dragon that doesn't bring enough food gets eaten. Now Hiccup and Astrid understand, the dragons aren't the enemy, they're victims, just like the Vikings. Back on Berk, Hiccup is scheduled for his final exam, killing a dragon in front of the entire village. He knows he can't do it. He tries to show everyone that dragons aren't monsters, but his attempt to calm the dragon in the ring backfires when his father, Stoic, barges in and enrages the beast, putting Hiccup in danger. Just in the nick of time, Toothless hears Hiccups, screams and bursts out of the cove to protect him. He fights off the arena dragon, but in doing so, reveals himself to the entire village. The Vikings immediately capture Toothless. Stoic is furious and heartbroken. He feels betrayed by his son who befriended their mortal enemy. Disowning Hiccup, he chains Toothless to a ship and uses him to lead the Viking fleet to the dragoness nest, intending to wipe them all out. Hiccup is devastated. He's lost his friend, his father, and his place in the tribe. But he knows he can't let his father lead the Vikings into a suicide mission against the Red Death. With the help of Astrid and the other teens, who now believe in his cause, he tames the training dragons from the arena. They fly off to save the day, arriving at the nest just as the Vikings' attack has awakened the colossal queen dragon. The Viking fleet is no match for the Red Death. It smashes their ships and sets the whole place on fire. It's a massacre. But then Hiccup and his friends arrive, riding on their dragons, creating a diversion and showing the Vikings that a human-dragon alliance is possible. Hiccup goes to free Toothless, who is chained and drowning. Stoic, seeing the monster his son was trying to warn him about, finally understands. He saves Toothless and apologizes to Hiccup, finally telling him he's proud of him. Now for the final battle, Hiccup and Toothless versus the Red Death. It's an epic aerial showdown. They use their speed and agility to outmaneuver the giant beast, luring it into the clouds. The Red Death is flying blind, but it can still breathe fire. Toothless's prosthetic tail fin catches fire. They have one last shot. Hiccup has Toothless fire a plasma blast into the Red Death's mouth as it is about to breathe fire, causing a massive internal explosion. The giant dragon crashes to the ground, defeated. But in the chaos of the explosion, Hiccup is knocked off Toothless's back and falls into the inferno below. Toothless dives after him, wrapping Hiccup in his wings to shield him from the flames just as they crash. When the smoke clears, Stoic finds Toothless on the ground, seemingly alone. He thinks Hiccup is gone, but then Toothless opens his wings, revealing an unconscious but alive Hiccup, safe and sound. Hiccup wakes up back in his bed on Book. He sees Toothless by his side. He gets out of bed and realizes something is different. He looks down and sees that his left leg has been replaced with a prosthetic, a parallel to Toothless's lost tail fin. He walks outside to a completely transformed village. Vikings and dragons are now living together in harmony, playing, working, and flying side by side. The war is over. Hiccup, once the outcast, is now a hero. He got the girl, the respect of his father, and he brought peace to his world, not by killing dragons, but by understanding them. The story ends with Hiccup and Toothless taking off into the sky, soaring over a new and better Berk. It's a powerful message about empathy, challenging traditions, and finding courage in the most unexpected places. And that's the incredible journey of how one Viking boy and one Night Fury changed their world forever. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.